I've lost a lot of motivation. Been having trouble feeling like I want to do anything, that I can do anything. It almost feels like I'm
a zombie.
Hello, I'm Ringrami, and welcome to the channel where I make things. Sorry for the jump scare, I thought it was relevant to today's video. And have you ever heard of Pixelmon? Pixelmon is a 2013 mod for Minecraft that adds Pokemon to Minecraft, and it's been popular for years, even though now I can probably only play it for a few hours, as I don't get much out of it besides the novelty of two things I love being one thing. But as a kid, I was obsessed with it. Maybe because the only version of Minecraft I could play was Pocket Edition until I was 19, that mixed with Pixelmon being all over early Minecraft YouTube. That means that when I went to my cousin's house, who actually had a PC and could get mods, we would play Pixelmon for hours. And by that I mean I would play Pixelmon for hours after guilting him to let me play on his computer. Sorry about that, Wyatt. In my defense, we were 11, and there was one Easter egg in the game that I thought was so cool. I was obsessed with it. I thought it was the epitome of something that an 11-year-old would be impressed by. You see, I was told by a friend that if you catch a Magikarp, legend says that you can have it unlock a secret new form by submerging into lava, upon which it'll not die, but rather change into something else. A seared form resembling its shiny, but with X's where the eye should be, and if you evolve it, it would become an unstoppable undead beast known as Zombie Gyarados! That friend was the same cousin who immediately showed me that it was real and indeed not a legend, but it still felt cool. It also helps that at that age I was obsessed with shiny Pokemon. I'd watch Jay Witt's top 10 shinies all the fucking time, and the models happened to resemble the shinies in color, at least before they changed it. And you can still do this today, albeit the model is different and you have to use lightning now instead of lava, assuming you aren't playing on a patch where the Zombie Gyarados was bugged like I was to get this footage. But that's what happens when the mod is 10 years old and Pixelmon is 7 versions past what it was. In fact, it's not even the only zombie Pokemon in Pixelmon anymore, although its method to become a zombie is unique compared to everything else. I wish it was still red though. I get like zombies are green in media and the shiny is red and that could cause confusion, but it looked so cool. And as I said, I was obsessed with this thing as a kid, and had convinced myself it was based on some random Pokemon official media that I had just never seen. Maybe a Halloween special, a piece of merchandise, and yet I could never find it until today, where I found out that it is based on nothing real or official. It's just a cool thing that was made for the mod. Yeah, I could have saved myself 11 years of speculation. It literally would take one Google search, and yet somehow I never did. But it got me thinking that it'd be cool to see if there was some way for it to exist as an actual Pokemon, as it's such a unique and one-of-a-kind Pokemon with a storied history. I wonder if there's something like that in Pokemon. BLOODMOON Pokemon are one-of-a-kind Pokemon, who were decades ago compelled by force or favor to live in an unimaginable, cruel environment. A place where it should have been a death sentence, yet they somehow survived and adapted. The story goes a golden Magikarp was forced to live in a river that looped around the base of a volcano. Every time the volcano erupted, the water would nearly boil, yet the Magikarp lived there, seemingly unharmed, managing only to lose its eyesight, but nothing else. The longer it lived in the river, the easier and easier it became to thrive in the broiling stream, until one day, it was tough enough to survive in the lava chambers below the mountain, evolving into BLOODMOON Gyarados, and Magikarp too. Now, I myself haven't actually played the BLOODMOON area of Scarlet and Violet DC, because I've never beat the game, I'm just not a fan of open world. But the BLOODMOON Ursaluna is such a unique concept of a one-of-a-kind Pokemon that is unique and has a storied history, and I thought that would work to, you know, tie into this. Plus, I've seen other artists make BLOODMOON forms, and I think they're really cool. Specifically, Dead Bedspread's holiday-themed ones. And, you know, Pixelmon's kind of a holiday. Probably not, sort of. Anyways, let's talk a bit about the designs, shall we? Starting with BLOODMOON Magikarp. While I never imagined where these would be in a Pokemon game, I imagined that you would catch the Magikarp, and then through some story beat, you would get it to evolve into a BLOODMOON Gyarados. Maybe getting the red scale from Lance? I don't know. Maybe it's like a Cosmog situation where you see someone with the BLOODMOON Magikarp, and like you have it temporarily, then you lose it and it evolves, maybe becoming like a cool boss fight as a Gyarados. I don't know, I never thought that far ahead. But its design was meant to look sort of like the skin of the roasted Magikarp, which, as you know, is supposed to look like a cooked fish. So to show this, the main body area is a more yellowish tan color, with these dark stripes that resemble the lines you see on cooked fish, while its front part looks more like the original face of Magikarp, albeit a bit more yellow in tone, and with an X going through its eye. I wanted to give it an actual X for an eye, or possibly a swirly mark like you see in Pokemon, but those both look stupid, and this looked less stupid, and sometimes that's all design needs. And finally, I made the crown on its head look a bit more barrel in shape, as well as giving it these 3 nicks in it, making it look like this thing's been through a lot in its life. And I don't know, he's kind of cute. I also gave him a closed mouth, because 1, Magikarp's open mouth is much more annoying to draw, and 2, look, he's got a little smile. He's such a happy little guy, despite, you know, being in a very shitty situation. Would have been really easy to just draw a Magikarp, put these, like, cooked lines on it, and give it an X eye, but I think this gives it a little more personality than what the roasted Magikarp is. And now to the BLOODMOON Gyarados. Now, I could not load up the version of Minecraft with the old model. I wanted it to look like the old model because that is what I have nostalgia for, and honestly, it looks a lot cooler than the green Gyarados. So I had to go via old footage of how to summon this thing and find reference art for it, and while it took a while, I eventually got some good visuals of the textures, and I will credit any videos I'm showing on screen right now. Now the main thing is, it is very similar to the shiny Gyarados in both the real life one and the actual textures used for the shiny one in Pixelmon. But it's one, a lot more desaturated, it has a lot more of these yellowish, I'm assuming they're supposed to be like rot markings, as well as if you look at its eyes, either the texture's too dark that they don't show up, or they just completely removed them. And so I gave it these scales covering its old eyes, plus that works with Roast Magikarp, who has X's for its eyes, and it's why I decided to make the Magikarp form blind. It also kind of makes sense with the lore I decided to give it based on the other way you can get Roast Magikarp in this game. See, well, initially you had to either put it in lava yourself, or now have it be struck by lightning. You can also just fish it out of lava. How your fishing rod doesn't burn up, I don't know. So I decided to make it so that this thing actually swims and lives in lava, which is why it also has the dragon type now instead of the water type. Plus, like, Gyarados is an honorary dragon already. It makes sense. And so its eyes are covered by scales to protect it, but you know, it's blind anyways, it doesn't need to see in the lava. I also made the crest Gyarados have now go in a different shape. Rather than the two side ones going up, they go down. So that way, mixed with the frills on the side of its head, specifically the red part that holds them up, it almost makes the Chinese symbol for fire, albeit a very vague version of it. I also like the idea that it uses these frills kind of like snakes would use their tongue to detect heat, allowing it to see when it's outside the lava, allowing it to see, although how it would see when it's in lava, I don't know, considering lava is mostly heat and rock. I never said I think the practicality between these through. Okay, I also made a few other small changes. I kept the mouth closed to match it with Magikarp. I turned the seared lines that Magikarp has into these like battle scars on its chest. Gyarados' back frills are turned into spikes now. And finally, the frills of course take up way more space on its head, because leaving the size of a normal Gyarados and leaving that top part of the head empty just made it look weird and bald. And considering what people think of Sock and Throw, I didn't want to make a bald Pokemon. Now, I improvised this part of the script because I thought it'd be cool, so I'm probably missing some other details of things I added to the design, and if there are any editor rows, put them on screen now. If I didn't miss anything, put that one scene with Jesse and James. You know the one. If I did forget something, the audience will never know. It'll be our little secret, despite the fact we're the same person. But yeah, that was Zombie Gyarados as a real Pokemon. I honestly thought this would have more in-depth, because when I went to do research for this, I thought the design would be based on something, and I could reference that something, and now I just know it's just a cool design that the modder wanted to add. Kinda cool. I did actually find a video by one of the devs of Pixelmon showcasing the Zombie Gyarados, and I'll probably be using that footage through most of the video. But I'd like to make more Pokemon videos like this. I recently got back into Pokemon after the announcement of Pokemon ZA, working on a prediction video for that, you know, like theorizing what starters there could be and what new forms they could have, stuff like that. But that requires at least 6 drawings, and I'm moving soon, so it'll be a bit. But if you have any other Pokemon suggestions of either another Pixelmon custom skin to turn into a Pokemon, or just cool Pokemon idea you think would make for a cool short video like this, let me know in the comments down below. I've been having a lot of fun with these videos where I just make one design and over-explain everything leading up to the design and about it. Kinda like this in my content warning video, which you should watch. I also do want to say that if you're interested in the line art for this video, it uses a sort of digital coloring book, it'll be up for free on my Patreon, but if you really want, you can pay me money. I'm also selling stickers now. They're just shitposts on my persona that I thought were fun enough to turn into things people can like put on a mug, and I want like 10 of Sad Rosie. It's just such a dumb fucking drawing, and I love it so much. Anyways, subscribe only if you enjoyed. No, I appreciate your existence. Please keep on existing, and I hope you have a good existence. Bye! Bye, hug!